So let them fear your quiet. Let them project. Let them panic. Let them crumble under their own reflection. You've said enough. Now your existence speaks. Because when prophecy unfolds, it doesn't announce itself. It just happens. And when you walk into a room now, that's what they feel. A silence that exposes, a calm that condemns, a presence that proclaims without sound. You should have kept my name out of your mouth. Listen carefully. Do you hear that? That soft hum behind the noise? That's your silence, spreading. It's no longer just absence of sound. It's atmosphere. It seeps into rooms before you enter them, lingers after you leave, like smoke that refuses to dissipate. They thought silence meant defeat. They thought you disappeared. But the truth is, you ascended. You stopped answering questions not worth the truth. You stopped lighting fires just to prove you weren't in the dark. Now your quiet has gravity. It bends the air, bends attention, bends them. They still talk. Of course they do. Gossip is the hymn of the faithless. But notice how every whisper about you sounds like prayer now. Pleading, uncertain, trembling. Because deep down, they feel it. Something vast and unseen is on your side. You've become what prophecy looks like when it gets tired of waiting. You move differently now. Slower, deliberate, like time itself keeps pace with you. When you look at people, they feel inspected, measured against something ancient and exact. You don't judge them, the silence around you does. That's the thing about evolution. It's quiet. A snake doesn't hiss when it sheds its skin. The world just notices it's longer, stronger, more luminous. You did the same. They thought you vanished in stillness, but you were molting, shedding names, fears, and expectations until only essence remained. Now you speak rarely, and every word lands like thunder wrapped in velvet. When you do smile, it unsettles them, because they can't tell if it's mercy or the last calm before consequence. Your silence has become theater. Every pause is tension, every breath a cue. The audience, your enemies, your doubters, your ghosts can't look away. They wait for lines that never come, and in that waiting, they see themselves. You understand now that unpredictability is the truest form of control. Noise can be imitated, stillness cannot. Stillness is earned by loss, by endurance, by seeing too much and saying too little. You earned yours in bloodless battles no one else even noticed. They stare because they want to decode you. But prophecy isn't meant to be understood. It's meant to happen. And you, standing there unbothered, are the happening itself. When they ask what changed, tell them nothing, because the truth would terrify them. You didn't find peace. Peace found you, recognized you, claimed you. It decided you were its weapon now. And heaven's weapons don't make noise. They simply appear, and reality adjusts. So keep that silence. Let it roll through the world like a slow-moving storm. Let it test every soul that approaches you. Let it separate the genuine from the curious, the loyal from the loud. Because silence, when mastered, isn't passive. It's law. It declares, I do not chase. I do not beg. I am, and every time you choose it, the universe rearranges itself around your steadiness. Those who meant harm begin to trip over their own echoes. Those who wished you gone start seeing you everywhere. In symbols, in coincidences, in the reflection of what they tried to destroy. That's why they fear you like a prophecy unfolding. Because somewhere deep down, they realize this isn't revenge. It's correction. It's balance. It's destiny catching up in silence. And when it's finally quiet, truly quiet, that's when you'll hear it, the faint applause of something greater, unseen, whispering, Now they understand. You were never the storm. You were the calm that ended it. You didn't have to say a word, did you? And that's what frightens them most. Because your silence isn't empty. It echoes. It crawls under their skin, makes them question what you know, what you've seen, what you're capable of. They start filling the silence with their own guilt. And that's when they expose themselves. That's the funny thing about truth. It doesn't need to shout. It just waits, quietly, patiently, until the liars start choking on their own words. You see, they expected you to defend yourself, to beg for understanding, to explain your calm. But you didn't. You just stopped playing. And when you did, everything started falling apart around them. Because silence, my dear, is a mirror. And when you stop feeding them with reaction, they start hearing their own noise, their own deception, their own rot. You took away the distraction, yourself, and suddenly they were forced to face the mess they made. You don't realize how terrifying you've become, do you? How your stillness is louder than their chaos, how your restraint is more violent than their attacks. They used to feed on your confusion, on your need to be understood. But now your detachment, it starves them. They can't read you anymore. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And that, my friend, is the end of their power. Because power doesn't come from noise. It comes from presence. And yours feels like prophecy. They look at you and something ancient inside them trembles, as if their soul recognizes yours from some older war. They feel it in their bones. You're not just someone they wronged. You're the consequence. They whisper that you've changed, that you're colder now, quieter, distant. But you and I both know the truth. You didn't change. You returned to yourself. You outgrew the version of you that needed to explain. You killed the one who begged to be seen. And now you stand there, unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable. You became a prophecy they can't interpret, and that drives them mad, because you don't react like a mortal anymore. You move like someone who's seen the script and rewrote the ending. They watch your calm and confuse it for weakness, until the weight of it starts breaking them from the inside out. That's the paradox of silence. It's both weapon and sanctuary. It isolates you from their noise, and it isolates them from your light. It forces them to live in the echo of their own intentions. And oh, how they unravel in that echo. Their guilt, their envy, their insecurity, it all starts to spill. You don't even have to accuse them. They confess themselves, desperate to fill the void you left. They stumble over apologies they never meant, invent stories to soothe their conscience. But you just watch, still, unbothered. Because you already know. Every time they speak now, they dig their own grave a little deeper. Your silence has become divine justice in motion. Heaven doesn't scream when it moves. It rearranges destinies quietly, and that's what you've become, a quiet rearrangement. A walking correction, a breathing prophecy that makes the unclean tremble. They can't tell if you're saint or shadow, and that uncertainty is your armor. You exist in the space where blessings and vengeance shake hands, where mercy wears a smirk, and retribution hums like a heartbeat. You're the embodiment of what they fear most, a healed creature who remembers too much. They used to gossip about you like you were a lesson. Now they speak your name like a warning, because you don't chase, you don't argue, you don't prove, you just appear, calm, unhurried. And suddenly the air changes, the lights feel colder, the walls seem smaller, even the liars start adjusting their tone. That's not coincidence, that's spiritual recoil, because your silence carries memory, and they can feel every unspoken truth vibrating in your presence. You don't need revenge. You are the reminder. You've become the prophecy they mocked, now unfolding before their eyes. You don't yell when karma arrives. You simply watch her take her seat beside you. And the same mouths that cursed you now tremble when they try to speak your name. Tell me, doesn't it feel divine? That peace that once felt like isolation now feels like power. The stillness that once scared you now makes the world hold its breath. Because silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of you finally belonging to yourself. It's the sound of judgment falling without words. It's the sound of heaven watching, smiling, whispering. Let them see what truth looks like when it stops explaining itself.